Hey everybody, so we're going to go through another page in your pet packet, specifically page 16 to 18, all about the California Gold Rush. This is still traveling on in our different notes based off the Gold Rush. So we're going to read through it, I'll read over the questions, and then you can kind of have at it. So page 16 of your pet packet. So page 16, California Gold Rush, here we go. There have been rumors of gold in California for years. John Sutter was a Swiss emigrant who arrived in California in 1839. Because California was claimed by Mexico, he became a Mexican citizen and received a land grant of 50,000 acres in Sacramento Valley on the Sacramento River. He built a fort and developed a farm and other business. Sutter's Fort became a rest stop for travelers and immigrants to California. In 1846, California was occupied by the United States as they tried to acquire it from Mexico. The U.S. obtained California in February of 1848 in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo after the Mexican-American War. That was in your notes prior. We talked about America just wanting to go through and take territory after territory after territory. And in the Mexican-American War, they had done so. Going on to our second paragraph. In 1847, John Sutter hired James Marshall to build a sawmill on his property at a site named Colama on American River. On January 4th of 1848, as they were building the mill, James Marshall found a piece of metal that looked like gold. He quickly took it to Sutter, and they did some research to find out if it was actually gold. After some testing, they discovered it was gold. Sutter became very worried about others finding out about the gold. He knew that the discovery of gold would bring many people to his property, and he did not want this. He asked all of his workers to keep it a secret. Unfortunately, the secret got out when merchant and publisher Samuel Brannan returned to San Francisco with a gold nugget from Sutter's mill and published his findings. Large groups of people proceeded to Sutter's mill and began to search for gold. This destroys Sutter's property and all he had worked for. He was disappointed that his land would not become the business he had hoped. He gave this land to his son, who realized the potential of the land. I'm so sorry, I keep yawning. He was disappointed that his land would not become the business he had hoped. He gave the land to his son, who realized the potential of the land and quickly began planning a town, calling it Sacramento. It eventually became the capital of California. On August 19, 1848, the New York Herald was the first major East Coast newspaper to report about the discovery of gold. On December 5th of 1848, President James Polk spoke about the discovery of gold to Congress and confirmed gold had been found. Just as Sutter had feared, more and more people poured into California in search of gold from all over the world. The first people to rush to find gold were people who already lived in California. Many abandoned their homes, stores, and boats for the opportunity to find gold. Entire families could be found searching for gold, including women and children. On to the backside. The first prospectors, people who searched for minerals that came to California, were able to get rich off gold. This is because there were only about 6,000 people that came to California in 1848. Only 500 came by land. Many heard about the discovery of gold and sailed to California. Many wanted to get rich quick and then go home. Others were able to make money by building cabins, stores, and cooking food for the men that came to mine for gold. By 1849, the news of gold had spread around the world. Gold seekers and merchants caught gold fever and began to arrive in California from all over the world. These people were called 49ers because they arrived in 1849. That brings us back to that question up here. San Francisco 49ers. About 90,000 people came to California hoping to get rich that year. They expected to find rivers of gold. Is anybody thinking El Dorado? Just me? Rivers of gold? But instead found fields crowded with miners. By 1855, nearly 300,000 people had arrived in California. Many were Americans, but were also large groups from China, Mexico, Australia, France, Italy, and Latin America. We got some diffusion going on. I'm almost out of time for this video, so catch part 2 on the California Gold Rush. Bye!